Happy birthday. It's the 367th episode of the Unranked podcast. I am Christian Humes. Joining me today is Dan Weine
Hello.
and Alex Marinello.
So we've been doing this for 7 years.
Today. 7 years to the day, baby.
Because
man.
it's actually pretty good. If you divide 367 by 52 weeks, you get 7.05.
Wow,
pretty
it's almost
good.
like you opened a calculator app.
It is, but it's more that obviously it's
52s
not
fuck
on
it
the
up.
nose, but it's pretty damn close, which means
Mhm.
that we can someone has done this podcast every week, whether it's been
Mhm.
not us, Tom only. Have we ever has there ever been an episode where somebody did an episode by themselves?
There was very close. We got close to doing that once, and then I got a guest. And I think
Okay.
I thought about doing it. And then there was the
That
Lost
was-
episode where Tom wasn't on and I was Tom. Where
There
I was
was the
myself
re-
and I was
Yeah, the Frankenstein episode was almost that, right?
yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It was me, Alex, and me.
That's why the
Um,
soundboard existed.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this episode almost got close because Tuna, you're a surprise guest. We
Yep.
didn't know we'd have you. We don't know how long we'll have you. And it's gonna be Dan and I. So I posted this already in the chat in the Discord, but I posted it with you guys. I used ChatGPT to write the new ChatGPT to write like a script for Unranked, and it did a half decent job for
Pretty
like a
good.
fake thing. It didn't really get us right. But then I started telling it more about each of us, like in the way we speak,
Right.
and I gave it like a
And
transcript.
it still didn't
and
get
then-
me right.
Well, it got. I mean, the Batang joke was pretty good. It's getting closer. The more info I give it, the closer it's getting. And then I started looking into like a week ago how to do the AI voices because I could just feed it like 5 minutes of any of our voices, not ChatGPT, but there's another AI, and then I could replicate our voices. And I was like, what if we use ChatGPT to write an episode, and then we use this other AI bot to just speak for all of us? And I thought about doing that.
I think it'd be better if we
that
just
case
read our
ever came
lines.
up, Alex, where it was like, oh, only one of us is on. It's like, well, what if all of us are on, but none of us were on?
What if we just read our line like a script? Like it wrote a script for us and we literally like acted out like a play.
I mean,
I mean, we should do that.
we should do that at some
Yeah.
point, and maybe that'll be a Spartan bonus episode because we are talking about doing something for the Spartans. Right now, this episode's not being streamed for the Spartans, which is my fault because I was getting my PC ready, trying to figure out how to stream. I haven't had to do it in a while. Tom usually does that, and I got this new camera. It's called the Opal C1. I got it a while ago, but I forgot that it looks like this. It's Mac only. I forgot that, and I have no idea what I did with my old LG camera. I cannot find it. So I was looking around for my camera.
Wait, where are you right now?
I'm in my office. I'm sitting on the couch instead.
Yeah,
of
but I feel like
front of
in
my
your
stuff.
office there used to be like cubbies and like cool stuff, and we're just very zoomed into where you are.
Yeah. I just have and the lights from the closet are because I hurt my back a couple weeks ago, which is why I missed the last time I missed, and now I'm sitting on the couch because sitting on the chair or standing right now hurts too much my back still. At least like long term,
Sure.
like to
sure.
do it for an
Yeah.
hour or more, it's too much. So being able to sit on the couch makes it better. So yeah, so I fucked it up. My bad. Let's just jump into the Pokemon. Let's just get into it. Let's do it.
What's okay?
So it's 367th Pokemon. You guys missed the first stage last week, which was Clam Pearl.
Okay.
Clam Pearl looks like a clam, like Shelder,
Mm-hmm.
and then it has 2 different evolutions that are possible.
Why are there two?
I think it's just one of the ways that you can make it unique, like some Pokemon, they have like the split, like there's Hitmontop, Hitmonlee, and Hitmonchan are all evolutions from one Pokemon.
Let me ask you this: are the two evolutions two separate Pokemon, or is it one Pokemon number?
2 totally different Pokemon, because 368 will be the other one.
Oh, that's that. Yep.
So this week is Huntail. Now Huntail's weird because it doesn't look anything like Shelder, but when you see the next Pokemon as well, you'll also see it doesn't look sorry, not Shelder, Clamperl. It also doesn't look anything like Clamperl. And this is what we talked about last week with Clamperl that makes it unique. The Pokemon itself is not a pearl, it's actually a fish egg. And so
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
why the evolutions are fish.
Okay.
So what's this one called? Huntail?
Yeah, Huntail. And so the clam is
So-
basically like a shield that's around the fish egg to keep it safe until it evolves, is the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a fun concept. The thing we talked about, it's like a straight water type. This isn't the kind of Pokemon you're gonna put in your sixth, as Tom put it last week.
So does it kind of look like a fish with like the face of Attila the Hun?
Attila going back.
I don't know if I know what Attila the Hun's face looks like.
I don't know that was Attila the Hun ever like imagined in.
I'm sure he was imagined at some point.
No, I know, but like was he ever depicted, I guess is what I mean, in like statue form? Because he's from like the 400s.
There's coins.
Oh, okay.
I thought I saw a picture somewhere where like they did like the recreating history's faces or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, man, when I Google Attila the Hun, there's a lot of dudes here that look different.
Yeah, I don't think they know.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
different looking guys here.
I mean, they're probably just guessing 100%
yeah.
at like what he might have looked like based on the fact
Yeah.
that he was a Hun and that's it.
Right.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is the closest they have is this like old artwork version of him that I just found.
No, the oldest version is definitely going to be like Chris said, a coin.
This
Well,
looks
it's
like,
like some
someone that's in
sewn
like
shit.
Pentiment, Dan. this guy looks like he's in Pentiment. Like
So anyway,
pretty
does the fish
slotty.
look like him?
No, I don't
maybe.
think so. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
why not?
he's got some
got a face.
jowls. He's got. I guess you could look at those as like a facial hair. He's kind of got like a mohawk though.
You know what I've noticed? The further
like
we
Geronimo.
get into these Pokemon, the smaller the trivia sections appear to be.
Yeah, well,
You know
in
why?
Gen 3 in particular.
It's less time
Why
for
Gen
people to have made
3?
shit up.
Why Gen 3 in particular?
Well, okay. Here's why. Gen 1 and 2 are
Yeah.
basically the same. They're very attached.
Okay.
There are a lot of like Pokemon that have shared evolutions in Gen 1 and 2. They share the same league. So like when you play Gen 2, after you beat the league, you go to Kanto. Like all of Game 1 is in Game
Yeah.
2. Like
Yeah.
so
All
like they're next door neighbors. Gen 3 is like the first one that's totally siloed, has a lot of new Pokemon. They kind of don't follow a lot of the same design elements of the first two. So it was the first one that felt like a different step to people, and it was also on Game Boy Advance instead of on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color.
You know how like there's Morimoto and he's like, no, not Morimoto.
Miyamoto.
I was very careful.
Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay.
You know, there's like Miyamoto. Like,
Yeah.
is there a Pokemon person?
Like
Yeah,
Professor
Sujimori.
Oak?
Is he still?
Oh.
Is he still around?
Like I'm a person in
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Does he? Is it like his baby? Like, does he have to approve every Pokemon and stuff, or is it just kind of like he's just raking in the money now?
No, he's still involved, but they'll have each new Pokemon game. A lot of them, like the last two, have had brand new directors, so they, so which gives it like I think more of a unique feel for the games, which in some ways I think is smart because I would say the last 4 generations, ever since they hit Black and White, it's like the games felt a little bit more unique, like the regions, right? Like Sun and Moon, like all those Pokemon feel fucking unique to that region, right? And like the same with all the European kind of style Pokemon when they did Galar with the like UK Pokemon. And then
Can we go back to the idea though of a guy sitting at a desk all day just waiting for people to bring him Pokemon ideas to either stamp yes or no
I mean,
on them?
that's definitely kind of got to be a thing, right?
Like they come in with like, okay, we have 3 prepared for you, and they put them on the table, and it's like almost like when you pick a Pokemon in the game, and the guy just like goes like,
There's got to be a lot more Pokemon on the cutting room floor than there are Pokemon that make it into the game. I got to imagine, right? There's got to be like
maybe,
the
or they just get
2,000
recycled in
Pokemon
future
that
games.
never were. I mean, that does partially happen because before Generation 2 came out, there was like a demo that got leaked, and now online, like people were, I don't remember exactly where they came from, but people were able to find the planned Pokemon for like Gen 2, like, and for Gen 1. There was originally a third stage for Pikachu that they were planning. There were these like, there was like a fire dog starter that was planned. There were like all these weird Pokemon that didn't get made that they have the sprites for when it was like in production. And some of those people look at in later generations, they're like, oh, they came back to this idea. This like is something they were talking about doing when the game first started, and now we finally have that Pokemon. They just changed the design a little bit. So that's definitely, I wish I had a good enough memory to recall exactly the information on that, but that does kind of happen. But yeah, Sujimori's kind of the guy. Like he's he's the one who did like Gengar and stuff, but he doesn't do like all the Pokemon. He'll do some, and then he'll do like a lot of key art for like characters and Pokemon, which will be like, people will look at them as like, oh, these are like, this is the Pokemon design. This is like, if you had to look at like the 20 different ways that this Pokemon has been depicted in Pokemon, like what is the most official one, people would always go to like the Sujimori art. So yeah, there is sort of like a Miyamoto or an Iwata for Pokemon. Unfortunately,
I don't know if you know this.
There's no one there to make sure that the games work well.
Right. Not sure if you're aware. I don't even think I need to look at for this one. But the name origin.
Oh, here we go.
Not sure. Not too sure if you're aware, and I'm not really sure. This may be.
Yeah.
It may be a combination of hunt and tail. Look,
Oh.
I haven't looked to verify.
I think you're wrong. I think it's actually a combination of hunt and ale, and it's a drinking Pokemon.
Or ale for ailment. It's got ails. What ails you?
It's a sick Pokemon.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, how would you like a Pokedex entry, and then we'll move on?
How would I like it? Served cold.
All right.
Oh, come on, over easy.
Over easy. All right. Well, let's go with Emerald then. We'll meet in the middle. We won't do Ruby or Sapphire. We'll go Emerald. To withstand the crushing pressure of water deep under the sea, its spine is very thick and sturdy. Its tail, which is shaped like a small fish, has eyes that light up, which is, I think, the specs on it are supposedly like come from the pearl and the clam, and then they kind of like the reflective kind of looks like eyes to other fish, which they do like to use those like real world elements in it. It's fine. This is a Pokemon that they kind of make, and they make like have an interesting evolutionary change so that for the like catch them all part of the game, because you can't get Clam Pearl until you get Dive, which you don't get until like close to the end of the game anyway. So this is like, it gives you an interesting Pokemon evolution to have to get, which I still personally, until the new game came out, Scarlet and Violet, have never really found the act of catching Pokemon fun because of the randomness. But now that you can like go around in the world and actually find them, it is much more fun. But yeah, that's what it was. I feel like we got to start with the top story. Do we start with the downer
story?
And then we lift to the rest of the show?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Lance Reddick has passed
Of the
away.
Wire.
Of the Wire, of Lost.
No, that's it, just the Wire.
I mean, that is the thing that kind of put him on the. It made him famous.
I was trying to think about it, and I don't remember what he did on the Wire. I don't remember what his character did.
Okay.
I haven't watched The Wire in a long time.
Yeah,
I've seen him in like 18 other things since.
I still can't believe it. I got to be honest. I'm like really shocked about it. It's one of those things you don't expect, but like, I mean, this is a big deal for gaming news because he is sort of been the through line for the Destiny NPCs. Because in Destiny, there were basically three of the, there was the Warlock, the Hunter, and the Titan.
Lance Reddick.
But Lance Reddick's character was and Lance Reddick was the Warlock. He's the one that's like still been in every game as a big plot detail. I think the Hunter one like died and something happened with the other one. I can't remember the exact details. I could be wrong. But his was like always very prominent. And I think it's partially because Lance himself was like very into the game. Like he played the game like a lot. And he would show up. I remember when Destiny first like was coming out, there were stories about like, they had like a Destiny launch event for like the new DLC. And it wasn't a thing that was planned. He just showed up to the event and started like helping out in the booth and like talking to people because He was just excited for the DLC to come out, not because he's like a voice in the game, but because he fucking like loved the game and played it. So it's like for even like gaming, this is a big deal. But for us on the podcast, we have an episode named Lance Reddick. It's one that like has come up, I believe. Which episode did Tom say? 316? I believe that was the episode during the pandemic that Therese was on a meeting and Lance Reddick was shown in like a game trailer, and I yelled, "Fuck yeah, Lance Reddick!" And Therese had to explain to people that why they just heard somebody yell "Fuck yeah, Lance Reddick" in a meeting, which at the time was actually fine because her boss was the guy who made John Wick, so it was kind of like that was weird. But yeah, it's a bummer. I'm bummed about it.
That was quite the story.
He's one of my favorite actors. One of
Yeah.
my favorite actors.
Yeah. He's kind of been on the fringe of.
Wow, working on that one all day.
No, I just thought of it actually. I'd say of the acting content out there.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. Now I lost the train because I wanted to say fringe, but now I lost the train of thought.
You should have just said the word fringe and moved on.
I could have, yeah.
Oh, I forgot he was a voice in Castlevania also. Real bummer.
Was he the
Shout
castle?
out, pour one out. If you're out there today on St. Patrick's Day, pour one out for Lance Reddick.
All right, on my computer. Here we go.
Oh God. Please don't. What's been happening? What's everyone up to? Alex, you've been busy with work.
Yeah, which I can't really talk about, but
Yeah.
it has been very busy. I've been working later than usual, which is weird for everyone involved, for me, for my daughter, for my wife, also like coming up, later in the night, being like, what the hell are you doing down there? Other than that, what have I been doing? Nothing. What have you guys been up to?
I'll try.
A lot of work, some travel.
Oh yeah, you've been traveling a lot. What's been going on in the travel sphere?
Places. I was in Montreal and Buffalo. Those were cold. Came back here. It was still cold, and now it's a little warmer. And I go to Florida again next week, I think.
Oh wow, what are you doing in Florida?
The same thing I'm doing in the other places, working.
Trying to take over the world?
No, sorry, Pinky, not tonight.
It's unfortunate you can't like get your own individual travel that they just like reimburse you for on some level, because like, oh, if you're in Florida and you wanted just to stay an extra day or two and foot that part of the bill, you could do that. But because everything's kind of done
I
for
literally
you,
I wouldn't be able to, just because I'd have to be back here for work too soon.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think I can do that if I want to pay like extra days of hotel.
Yeah.
But it would cost a lot of money that I'm not making enough to cover that cost.
Sure, fair enough. That makes sense. Well, glad to have you here. It is, so, we don't have Tom here, just like when the show started 7 years ago. So that's perfect. Tom's having his 31st birthday?
Something like that.
31st, yeah.
I don't know.
30 was last year.
I got to tell you, though, he's sending us pictures of Niagara Falls as if it's never been photographed before. And having seen
you're
7,000
surprised after he
having seen 7,000
pictures...
photos of Niagara Falls in my life, I do not need his additional photos that look exactly the same as all the others.
I'm wondering why you're surprised, considering he posted a picture of the moon on his Instagram story.
Well, now we all post pictures of the moon back to him when he does that.
Right. I mean, that's the joke. That's what happens. That's, look, I'm with you, right? I was going to make a comment to him about, Niagara Falls, seen it. It's one of the most famous waterfalls in the world. People go over barrels. Yeah. I've seen it live.
Wait, you've seen someone go over the falls with a barrel?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Niagara Falls. Okay.
I've just seen Niagara Falls live.
I was like, I didn't think people were still doing that.
Yeah, I went to the barrel race. It was great.
I remember walking up to Niagara Falls, like the edge of where you can see it. I remember going up there. In true, I feel like this is very on brand for me.
Which side were you on, New York or Canada?
New York.
The worst side.
Yeah. So I walked over,
Visibly.
I looked at it, and I went, all right. Water falling over the edge.
Great.
Yep.
Great. Awesome.
Great.
So the other thing I experienced up there was beef on weck, which is like some
Yeah.
shitty sandwich, and I hate it,
Buffalo's a big fan of that. It's basically big roast beef sandwich.
with a very salty bun, which I
Yeah,
think ruins the
it's-
entire
Is that
thing.
what weck is?
I have no
It's
idea.
just some bullshit. It's a roast beef sandwich. It's what they call the sandwich. It's a salty bunned giant roast beef sandwich, like this much roast beef in the middle.
I mean,
of the
with
sandwich.
that much roast beef, I would think the beef is salty enough.
It's all salty. It's all salt.
Interesting. That's weird.
Yeah, I just get wings from there.
Yeah, that doesn't sound ideal. It doesn't sound like what I would want. Even if I still ate roast beef, that seems like you need to maybe do a little bit more.
So this is kind of funny. When I was up there for work the other day, we were heading out the door after we had worked to go get some drinks. Like we're heading home the next day. And we hold open the door for these two women, and not a thought passes in my head. And then my buddy turns to us and walking down the street. He goes, "That was Nikki Glazer."
Oh, really?
And I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like, I didn't really even take a good look at who they were or what they looked like. I was just like, okay, holding the door for people, moving on with my day. And then he's like, he's like, that had to be Nikki Glazer. I was like, I don't know. That seems like it could be anyone. And it turns out she was doing a show in Buffalo. And then she posted a picture the next day from the same hotel we were staying at of like the view of the street. And I was like, well, I guess that was Nikki Glazer.
That's funny. Are you a big
She's
Nikki
much
Glazer
shorter
fan?
in person. What?
Are you a big Nikki Glazer fan?
I guess he was. She's okay, I guess. I'm not a huge fan. I don't hate her work. This thing is fucking full. This is what I'm working on for the last minute, is getting this pour down. Look at that. It's hanging over the top.
Wow.
Beautiful. But yeah, it was I always think of her as being very tall, but I guess she's not that tall. I think she's like maybe 5'6".
Why did you assume she was so tall?
I think she just looks taller when they show her on TV and things.
On TV, huh? All right.
Because they probably shoot from a lower angle.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget how tall I am sometimes. So like, even if she was like 5'8", I wouldn't think she's that tall.
And then did she have heels on or shoes on? Or...
She probably usually has heels on during her show. I didn't pay much attention when we walked by.
Just Therese is like 5'7", so when she wears heels, she's like basically my height. She's like 5'10", so it's, you know, sometimes I like forget. And then she almost never wears heels because, you know, we live in a world where we went through a pandemic. Who the fuck is doing that anymore? But
yeah, I stopped.
Every now and then, if she has her like, I'm like, oh, I forgot that you used to like walk around like this all the time. It was like weird. You seem tall now. So Therese was. This is gonna sound weird. So Therese was in Kentucky. They were doing a thing with Kentucky Derby. And right nearby the Derby, someone was like, oh, the place nearby makes the best sandwiches in the world. And when she went to the place, like they had a sign there that said like world's best sandwich. And she said the guy in the place was like, kept telling her like, you're going to love this. He was like so proud of it. I need you to look at that.
It's biased. It's such
I'm
biased.
gonna
it's always wrong.
I'm going to send you the sandwich to the Unranked chat, but I'll hold it up to the screen for you to see this sandwich.
I hope it's like the worst.
Just for the listeners to see. I gotta lower my volume.
Getting a lot of glare there.
Yeah, I gotta lower this.
Nope. Now I just hear settings. There we go.
It is.
It doesn't look
unranked, so you could see.
Okay.
It is.
It doesn't look overly impressive.
2 pieces of Wonder Bread, a just slice of like American cheese, and tomatoes and lettuce. Like nothing is seasoned.
Well, come on.
It's
in honor
very
of Tom,
just like the most basic grocery
in honor of Tom not being here, I'll give that sandwich 4 out of 10 sandwich of the year.
Oh my god!
But yeah, that's just looks like someone made it at home.
Yes, yes.
Not, and
someone made it at home and was just like,
I just
need the food. I don't need it to taste good. They were like, I just need it to be edible. Like it's gonna be the most bland, boring thing I'll eat, but whatever, it gets the job done. Is basically what someone said there. I was like, this guy needs to expand what he thinks the world of sandwiches is. Maybe leave Kentucky for a day, go somewhere else, hop on a plane, go to a deli, something. It's
But this is the guy who owned the place, right?
Yeah.
See, that's by you gotta ask someone like,
or well, he worked. I don't know. I don't. This
Yeah, like if you ask
secondhand
someone like
story
at
now.
another place, like, oh, how's the food over at this place, and they go, it's really good, then you can go there.
Yeah.
But if you ask them in that place, they're gonna say it's really good, whether it is or not.
So we've been getting a colossal amount of rain in California. The mudslides have started now. Parts of California have been like buried by like 20 to 30 feet of snow, like in Northern California.
Mud skiing.
It's getting real out here. I will say the nice thing is there's basically zero drought anymore because we've gotten so much fucking water that it actually has been able to like collect and absorb a lot of it into the groundwater as well. The majority of California has like zero drought levels, and it went from extreme drought a few months ago to now zero drought levels, which is crazy. But my house now has a very small roof leak that we had to find, which I think I did find, and I got to buy a cool little tool. Tuna, I got a new house tool. I got a thermal camera.
What the fuck? Why?
Well, because we had a small roof leak.
Oh, the
and
leaks.
we didn't know where it was coming
Yeah.
from. And so I was able to use this, point it at the roof when it was raining, and find it. And what
See,
I
what I
found
would have done
Okay.
is
was a
saw where
small
the
gap.
water was dripping out from.
Yeah, so you
Explain
do
that, Chris.
You do that on the ceiling, but how do you find where it's coming from?
I'm just kidding. I was kidding.
So what I did was I followed it on the roof, like it was a very small amount, and then I followed it up, and I'm able to see like in the wall, like the water where it was like running in from. And it only happened on the like time when we had the super heavy rain. So I was at least like not worried about like anything extensive happening here. But after, a year ago, I had my house get flooded and destroyed. I was going to have to act fast, which is why we went out and bought a thermal camera like right away. But there was a just like small little gap above. Do you have any like outdoor outlets or anything, Alex, attached to your house? And they have like the little box.
There's a couple. They're in a box. They're in a GFI like encased box.
Yeah. So our encased box, it looks like it's separated a tiny bit from the stucco on the top. And so when the water was heavy, it was like pouring in basically from the top of it. Right. Where like the electrical is too. So that is like not ideal.
No.
So I literally went, this sounds so stupid. It stopped raining in the morning. I went out there with a hot glue gun and I just filled it with the hot glue because I didn't want to use any kind of like silicone or something that was going to take too long to like dry.
Yeah.
And then when it rained later, nothing. So I just have to fill it. I just got to
There
fill
you go.
it, patch it, done. Don't need to do
Perfect.
anything. But I did find out because we called the manufacturers of the house, the people like who built it and everything, the builders. I guess I somewhat knew this, but like roofs in California, this may be true with like every state, but any new construction they have to be covered for 10 years. So like basically I can have them come out and like fix this at like no cost, basically.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So I'll have them come do it. But
Well, yeah, I have to drop off. I might be back if that's okay. Or no. Is this not okay?
Yeah, no, please come back.
Oh, okay. Deuces.
Dan. Oh,
Yes.
I almost never see you with glasses. Are these reading glasses?
These are the glasses that are sitting in front of me all the time.
Did I not know you wore glasses?
I don't wear glasses.
But
I have glasses. They're for distance. I don't wear them though.
Since when?
I've had these since, well, not this exact pair, but I've had glasses since like 4th grade. I don't wear them ever, but I was feeling them right now, so I put them on.
I think I've known you since I was in 7th grade, and I don't know if I knew that
I
you
didn't
ever
wear
wore
them
glasses.
to school. I think I used to bring them to class if I was sitting like in the back of the room. I should wear them at work. I don't wear them at work. I often forget to bring them to work, and my job includes a lot of reading small things, making sure they're perfect. So that's stupid. But yeah, these are sitting here. They're not very comfortable, but they're a pair of glasses.
Wait, so how bad is your vision?
It's a little blurrier right now, but I can still see.
Has
It's
it
just
gotten
like
worse over the years?
No, I have an astigmatism.
I mean, I have an
it's just-
astigmatism too.
It's basically like I could use them for distance, but
Yeah.
I don't wear. There's no need to wear them all the
Interesting.
time.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I do have them. I look smarter in them.
You do. It's a weird thing that like culturally we've just decided that
Yeah.
about people. I saw, I was on TikTok the other day. I gotta get off TikTok. They're gonna make every time I'm on TikTok, I'm like, maybe I do have autism because like every like 20
Oh,
videos on TikTok is
so
people being
you'll
like,
love this.
here's my autistic trait.
So
I'm like, oh, I
like
do
I've
that.
been in the same thing like TikTok, like all this like ADHD shit, and I'm like always like I have all those symptoms, and so like I asked my mom, I was like, when I was younger, like did you guys think I had like ADHD or anything? And she was like, yeah, we thought you probably did, but
Yeah.
it didn't affect your schoolwork.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was told too. Then also I was told that they didn't think it was a real thing. And then I got tested
Well,
and then
back
they were
then
like,
like no
you
one
have
gave a shit
bad
too, but
ADHD.
people did have it. Like there were people who did have it.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely have ADHD. I wouldn't be surprised if
Yeah.
you had ADHD either.
I
But
probably do. I definitely have something going on. Like it's
you got something going on. Every time I go, I'm like, Trees, if I stay on TikTok any
Sweating through the
longer,
glasses.
I'm gonna be bisexual and autistic. I gotta get off this app. It's like every fucking other video on that website. But I was on there, and probably because I've been looking into getting LASIK, I see like, of course, there's a conspiracy theory for everything now. And there's this woman, and she's like, this was a conference of all of like the leading LASIK doctors and ophthalmologists in the world, and look at all of them in the front row, every single one of them wearing glasses. How come these people who lead LASIK don't get laser surgery? That's what I'm just like, yeah, okay, I got it. This fucking app is out.
You're a fucking idiot. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I generally use it to watch funny, dumb videos and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
me
that.
too. But
But I
you
do
can't
get
help it. It wants
I do
to feed you stuff. You know.
It does. It does. And occasionally I have to tell it no. I was definitely I still probably am. Like for a while, and I've ran into like other people because I'm in the same TikTok section as them, I guess, where it's guys who are on lesbian TikTok.
Oh yeah, I actually follow quite a few people on lesbian
Yeah.
TikTok because they
And
make good
so like
content.
and yeah, so like I've had a few videos come up and it's like, I don't know who I talked to about this, but I'm a guy and this app thinks I'm a lesbian. I'm enjoying the vibes, but like
yeah. Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite people on TikTok is this lesbian geologist. And she's very much about like making like queer geology content, but her geology content's really fucking good. So like I guess I'm here, but then because of that I get more
I
of
mean,
that TikTok.
I follow like a mix of people, so like I get all sorts of weird shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I told I work with this woman, she's a lesbian, and so like I've talked to her about it. I was like telling her, she thought that was fucking awesome that I'm stuck on lesbian TikTok.
Yeah. When I first signed up for TikTok, because it knew I was a guy in my 30s, it was like, oh, we're just gonna show you like scantily clad women at first, and I had to like actively like say like I do not want this, because every time I open my TikTok, that's like what will be popping up, and Teresa's like, what are you looking at?
Well, yeah, same. like I try to scroll past those as quickly as I can, only because like if I'm looking for that, I can go find that in the internet.
I don't
anywhere.
want that on my social media.
I don't need it when I'm scrolling through. I'm looking for stuff to make me happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't need this in my social media for sure. It's so funny. I guess we should talk a little bit about games. We 7 years, like people think like, oh, it's great. I mean, it's pretty cool. It is.
We're much bigger than we were back then.
That's true.
Both in following and size.
Yeah, that's very true. But because Tom's typically not here for it, we don't try to really do anything, because it just feels weird to like do like a big thing if we're not gonna have all of us. That being said, Alex is like ready to do the next Taskmaster, so he might be sending those out like when he has more time. I mean,
for me, I can't really plan anything until May, probably.
Well, no, but like you can, if he sends them out.
Oh, I can start doing tasks.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. So we're planning another presentation power hour is requested, and I think in April, Tom and I, we've been asked about it a few times about doing like community gaming nights.
Yeah,
it's hard to do it too regularly, but we do want to do them. So we're talking.
It's hard to pick a game too, because we're not like
probably
on one
Fall
specific
Guys
thing.
And Halo and Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, because those are like kind of the easiest. to get
Yeah,
people to
it's just
play.
there's
That
a lot of people don't have all. I guess that's what
of
I'm saying.
course
Like,
not.
a lot of people don't have all of them.
Yeah, of course. But then like if we could do Fall Guys, right? Like it's easier for us to then be like, hey, we're gonna try and do like 2 community nights in April. It's like we're gonna do a Halo night and a Fall Guys night. And that way also it's like, well, we can't get all 4 of us on one, but like 3 of us will be on this one, 3 of us will be on that one. But what I want to do with the Fall Guys one is like if we can plan that enough in advance, then we can actually do like the creator room and it can just be us and unranked listeners.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome. Like even if there were 12 of us, it would be enough that it would be fun because it would just be like
Yeah, I've done
3
that
round
before with people.
matches,
Like, yeah,
you know?
like if you can get like between 10 and 20, it's usually a good amount.
Yeah. So we're working on that. But a thing I was thinking about with video games, Dan, is over the last week or two, suddenly after like it seemed like, hey, there's not going to be a new Nintendo at least until next year. Rumors are building up. End of this year, new Switch coming out. And the reason that's fun is when this show started, we're getting the very first rumors of the Nintendo Switch. So now we are almost like we've made it one full console cycle now because the Wii U was out and the first rumors of the Switch were dropping that year.
Here's the thing. The Switch is the only system I can remember that became less of what it was supposed to be as it went along.
Oh, interesting.
Because every new Switch they came out with wasn't a Switch anymore. It was
that
a
was
big
only
Game
one.
Boy.
That was just the light. The light's the only one that you can't.
They're gonna be like, here's the new Switch. It's just a giant console.
I wanted a Switch Home, man. After they made the Switch Lite, I was like, just make a Switch Home. Make $100. You can play your console games, but there's no screen. Because I would want that just to put it like on my desk with my computer.
My only argument with that is it's no longer a Switch.
But I'm fine with that.
But just call it something else. That's all
I know.
It doesn't
but
have
then
to be different.
But you can't because the brand name is too good now.
Is it too good?
It is.
Is it?
It unfortunately is. I mean, I agree with you.
It seems a little woke for me, Chris.
It's a little. The Switch is a little woke.
just trying to get it like fucking on the wrong side of fucking TikToks, so they'll start charging after the Switch name.
But I think that's fun. Do you remember the first Switch rumors? I sent you a picture of like
No.
Okay, I'm gonna
send you.
Then. I gotta send you this image, and you'll remember it when you see it because it looks so ludicrous. But this was like one of our this was within the first like the first dozen episodes we did. Probably less. The first probably 5 or 6 episodes. This like originally showed up. It was like a fake render.
Yeah, tough to see anything.
That was what the Switch looked like. It looked like Hey Arnold's head.
Yeah.
And
I remember it looking completely dumb at first.
Yes. The rumor was it was all touchscreen. It was like a circle. It was like an weird like football shape. Yep. And you'd also be able to
it looked like something out of Star Trek.
Yeah. I can't believe people believe that. I can't believe I believed it at all. I mean, I definitely knew it was fake, but at the same time, it was like something here is real. And in a weird way, like some of the facts were right, but not enough. If I honestly I don't know how the next Switch can be anything other than just a better Switch because I don't
what if it was
anything else.
What if it was more of a circular disc that was all screen?
Now it's a circular disc. Well, a more circular disc or a circular disc? So it's still
then the
not
original
circle,
bullshit one.
Just, okay, so no, then more of a circle.
So basically, what you just showed me.
So arguably, like an even more uncomfortable controller to hold.
Yeah.
Okay. Further away from a 16:9 screen.
If I could possibly hold it like this as I try to play a game,
like a wheel,
so it feels like I'm driving.
Yeah, the Nintendo wheel.
No, but it's not a wheel. It's just got an awkward shaped, almost like an arcing, piece of shit screen in there. It'd be terrible. I'm in.
Part of me is nervous that what they're gonna do with the next one Do you remember when this is such a funny thing? Project Labo. Do you remember when Labo came out like a year after the Switch? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're gonna do this series, and like a year later, like they put out their last Labo thing ever. Like they were like, yeah, we're done with this. They did like a really shitty VR headset with the Switch. You could make a cardboard like VR thing, which like really didn't work well and made people pretty nauseous because it's just not.
So
like,
I would have a
built for
0%
that.
chance of not getting nauseous.
Dude. Oh my god, it would be bad. It because you got nauseous with regular VR a little bit, right?
Not so much regular VR, but like it depends on the graphic style, I guess. But
Sure.
like games like Bug Snacks like did it for me. Like I was just playing through like stuff like that. Not on that Switch, obviously, but like stuff like that'll make me nauseous. So
Yeah.
likely in
Yeah.
those situations, it would all the
Because you've
movement.
done the VR when we were at like E3 and stuff.
Yeah, I
too.
didn't get nauseous with some of that.
Yeah.
I didn't do that whole lot of it, but I know
Sure.
that some of it will just be like the art style that my eyes won't agree with.
That's so interesting. The my worry is they did that and they're looking at like the Oculus and the PSVR, and I really hope they don't try and do it again with this one. I hope they're not like trying to make it so you can like pop this in and just use it as a shitty VR headset, because that shit's not ready. We're still a decade away from being able to like do something like that actually works. This thing is not going to be good. But otherwise, like, it should just be a Switch. It should just be a regular Switch. What are you playing? You were playing Madden before this, or you were playing the
No,
show?
I was playing NHL 22. I think I just
Okay.
I've been going on Xbox a lot and just booting up Fall Guys so I can accomplish the
Sure.
daily challenges and then getting off right away. That's what I've been doing for the last month or so on that, because they haven't put out any new stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, I want to keep getting the shards, I guess, for whatever reason. And I want to accomplish the monthly goals or the season long goals, but it's just like a slog. And it's the same like 7 levels over and over again, because they have everything vaulted right now if you're not custom game playing. So it's kind of brutal. I've been playing a mix of a bunch of things, all my old sports games I have. Nothing new. What did I play?
Is that John Madden thing out where you can play as Madden?
What?
You not see this?
You could play as Madden, or is it like a mod someone made?
No, they're officially making it for the first time ever. You can play as Madden.
Well, what do you mean play as Madden? He was a coach.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Are they just gonna make like a fat guy mod that's like a really fat quarterback?
There was a thing, I swear, that I just saw.
I still think they're stupid for. They had a chance this year to pivot away from the Madden name, and they were like, "No, we're going back to it. So we're gonna have 2 Madden 25s."
But you don't want to go away from that because
I do, because it's a shit game.
So okay, the Hall of Fame coach comes to the Ultimate Team as a lineman.
Oh yeah, I guess he was a lineman, like, but that's not what he's known for.
But so you.
But like, you're not gonna play as a
John
lineman.
Madden in Madden 23 and play as Madden.
You can't really play as a lineman. Like,
you can.
You can, but no one does.
Yeah. But
I
guess
fun.
You can have him on your team, I guess.
I'm sorry, offensive linemen out there who are like, I love playing as a lineman, but like no one does.
I would have thought you'd be all about this, about John Madden.
No, couldn't care less.
God, it's wild. In 1959, he tore ligaments in his knee, ending his career. It's so crazy how long ago that was.
Do you know how
his
football
name
didn't even look like football now? Then
no, it
like
didn't.
He was probably like 200 pounds, and I was a lineman back then.
Yeah, people were very different back then than they are now. That's a very good point. He would probably be snapped in half today.
Well, no, he'd be dead today.
Well, okay, fair. Man, I thought you were gonna be like, oh hell yeah, can't wait to go play as John. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I couldn't care less.
Well, I've been just playing VR. I haven't touched anything else, which is crazy because I really like Metroid Prime's one of my favorite games of all time, and it came out remastered on the Switch, and you'd think I'd be like all about it, but I've been waiting to get into VR for so long that now on the PSVR, there's so many fucking games for me to play that like I'm not touching anything else right now. Which this month was supposed to be.
What the hell was that?
was closing the link and an ad started fucking playing.
I was like, was that a sound
Nah,
effect?
yeah,
Because I was moving on my seat.
I was closing the Madden link, and when I hovered over it, it started auto playing a fucking video ad. I was like, get out of here. And so this month was supposed to be Jedi Survivor, which I was really excited about, and I'm very happy that that game got pushed back because
I'm hoping that game is what I want it to be, but it's not.
What do you want it to be?
I want it to be like the show Survivor, but all Jedi.
Oh shit! I'm kind of into that.
Like you play as a Jedi,
Yeah,
and everyone else is a Jedi, but you have to
Everyone
like complete challenges and stuff,
yeah,
and then like vote people off until there's a winner.
I'm into that. That would be fun.
Jedi Survivor coming fall 2028.
I think they should do a celebrity Survivor season and just get the complete cast of Lost.
They can't do that
Why can't you do
because
that?
people are dead.
Well, you can get a lot of people though from Lost. Here's what you could do, right? You would do the 3 tribes. So you do a tribe of others, you do a tribe of like oceanic survivors, and then you do a tribe of like just randos, like you could do a Dharma tribe or
So we were
an off-island
talking
tribe.
about Lance Reddick earlier,
Yeah.
and he is in Lost,
Yes, he plays.
and
Matthew
I've been
Abaddon.
rewatching because, and I'm like probably way past where you guys are at now because I haven't been on the podcast, so I didn't care anymore. I just kept rolling.
Sure.
So I'm in season 6 now, but basically Lance Reddick's character has his backstory doesn't exist, and I was disappointed. I want to know like his actual backstory.
Yeah,
They don't really go into it.
You
They
don't
just kind of
really
go,
get into it.
he's the guy who does this.
He worked for Charles Woodmore. Is ultimately.
I know, but like, give me something better.
Yeah. I mean, that is the tough thing with any time like late in a series characters get introduced, which it's usually not that big of a deal, but every now and then they pick an actor who's like, oh, really charismatic and compelling. You're like, oh, this
Yeah.
person's mysterious. I want to
But
know
he's
about
not even
them.
introduced that late in the show. Like he's introduced kind of in the middle, like early-ish middle.
Season
With
4?
like, I think it's late 3, early 4, something like that.
Is
'cause
he
you
in the
first-
season 3 finale?
I think so.
Okay, then he might have one scene in the season 3 finale with Naomi, but otherwise I didn't think he was in that scene. No, he's in that scene with Naomi, I think in season 4.
Does he not exist in season 3? I don't know.
I don't
Again,
think
when you're
so.
watching it like I am, it's hard to tell because you
Yeah.
kind of just go right to the next season.
But basically,
Except for like when except for like when Jack
Seasons-
doesn't get a fucking haircut in the beginning of the show, and then they flash back to him having the new haircut that he
Sure.
has later in the show, and it fucking pisses me off every time.
seasons 4, 5, and 6 combined are the same length as 2 seasons.
Yeah, they're shorter.
So it's basically like the equivalent of if he got introduced in the 4th season of a 5-season show, episode wise,
guess.
like with how many episodes are left. But he is.
But
He's
I didn't need a whole lot. I just wanted like a quick them meeting, him and
Yeah.
Widmore meet. Boom, done.
I don't disagree. You know, I would have taken more Lance Reddick.
I'm talking about the show.
You goddamn it, Dan. I wish we could have gotten more of Matthew Abaddon, but his character is not long for this world in that show, which is sort of the unfortunate thing with that. But ultimately, like, I don't think we would have learned anything more than like, oh, he's one of Widmore's guys. Like,
Dudes.
he seemed like Widmore's main guy. He was basically like Widmore's Richard Alpert. Is kind of how
Yeah.
that seemed, you know.
By the way, another kind of disappointing backstory.
Who? Richard Alpert?
I mean, you definitely get more backstory. with
Oh, I thought
Alpert.
his was amazing. I thought he
You
was
get
like one of the
more,
best
but the-
episodes of season 6.
But the problem is, and now we're talking about things. Everyone's like, why do we give a shit? This aired years and years ago. It's sort of the middle ground, I guess, between his introduction, which is cool. Like I love that part, like
Yeah.
where he came from and all that. The 100 or so years in between, we get very little.
Yeah, I think we would have actually gotten more from his character, but season 5, he's not in it as much as you would have expected because he went and starred in his own new show.
Oh, okay.
And so they didn't have access to him. He was
Okay,
starring in some.
I'm fine with it then.
Yeah, he's starring in another show, which is actually part of why he's not.
Which of course went on to
Um,
become bigger than Lost, because we could all name it now.
Yeah, no, it only lasted one season. It was like a Cuban drama. It was like a drama that took place like in Cuba or something like that, or with like Cuban refugees. I can't remember the exact details, but it was it was one season and it was done and then it was gone.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was part of what happened with him. And then same thing with like Claire. Claire disappears partially because she was she took like a movie role or some other things,
Her
and then they
career
were just
really
like,
did not pan out the way they
Yeah.
would have thought it would.
yeah. And so
She's
she kinda
like
got
listed
written.
as like one of the top names on the show
Yeah. And
every
her
time.
agent thought she was going to be a lot bigger than she was, and
she is not one of the people you think about when you think about the show right away.
Yeah. There were stories about both her and Harold Perrineau, the guy that played Michael, both kind of being, I remember both of them being described as like divas on set.
The
and just not
difference with
getting
Michael,
along
I
with
guess,
people.
with his character, is that he had been on the show Oz in a starring role, kind of.
Yeah, and he was in The Matrix. He was in,
And yeah, he's in other things too. But like, I mean, like he had been big elsewhere before, which I get
Yes.
more.
Yeah.
She had not.
No.
So that's kind of a not
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Well, I think she was maybe, I don't know if it was like in Australia or something,
But
who knows?
There's a difference.
Yeah, of course there is. Of course.
Yeah.
But young blonde woman in her 20s who a lot of people were suddenly was gaining popularity. They were like, oh, we're going to get her in as many things as possible, which then meant you're going to have to take a back seat on this because we can't schedule you on Lost. So you're just going to disappear from the show for like a season and a half because we can't schedule you. And so that is like just a bummer with TV making. By the way, a thing that came up, we were talking, you weren't on this episode, it was me, Alex, and Tom, and we were talking about Lost and about how
she was on Roswell as well. I didn't watch that show.
Oh, dude, I love
but
Roswell.
I've heard of it.
About Nikki and Paolo and how like people didn't like them, and I was like, well, the
Yeah.
good thing was with that show, because the way season 3 they broke up the show and it was like actually in 3 parts that year instead of 2, it made a lot of people really annoyed actually, because the fan reception was so bad, they were able to write them out of the show very quickly. And Alex was like, well, wait, they were still writing the show? And I was like, well, yeah, no, the show is being made and like written like as it's airing. And him and Tom were kind of like, well, I would imagine like most of the show is done by the time it started. I'm like,
I'd
no,
say
that's
there's a strong outline as to where they want to go, but they still have a lot of leeway as to what they want to do with the characters in the interim.
Yeah, but like as the show is airing, they're still actively shooting and making the current season. It's not like
because
Game of
they'll probably make the
Thrones.
first half start to air it towards the second half of that first half.
Exactly. That's pretty much how it works, because
Yeah.
I started looking.
So you get like a month of advance, I guess.
There was usually, from the way I looked at it, like
wasn't there an
second
episode of
half
something
the season, they were usually about 6 to 8 weeks out from the episode airing that they were working on.
There was an episode of a big show at one point, and I don't remember what show it was, so it's really you have to remember it too, otherwise it's useless. That didn't air the night it was supposed to because they couldn't get it like edited and finished in time.
Oh no, I don't know what that is.
I don't remember what show it was,
That's
but it was like they were like there was like a note on the bottom of the screen like, sorry, we know you're expecting the whatever episode of this show. It will air on this date instead.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, there was like one of the Star Wars was like being edited like literally until like days before it came out, and then it was like they were sending out. I mean, this stuff is they take every last minute they can with these things, especially as post production takes so long. But with TV, with the way broadcast TV used to work, which is when Lost was on, it seems insurmountable for how big of a show Lost was. It's like the final episode of that show, they were filming it 6 weeks before it aired. Like, TV was made differently, especially like something you would think of as like Lost is almost like a prestige show, like just because like the production value, especially as well, and the scope of it, it's much more like a Game of Thrones, but like it doesn't need a year and a half of post like those things do. I got Therese to play some of the PSVR. It was very funny because the thing I noticed is there's a lot of things you can do in VR that like you just have to remind yourself like, oh, don't think of this like a video game. Think of it like you have you done like Job Simulator, just like very simple basic stuff like VR. Like, have you done that one?
I don't think so.
You would like Job Simulator. It's very like kind of humorous, stupid. like one of them will put you in like a cubicle and you're like you just do like menial tasks.
See,
And
that's not fun.
no, it's fun because like I can pick up the coffee cup and I can like pour it on the like I can like throw things at people. I can like just like wreck stuff. Like you fuck around. You're not
I don't
actually
think you're
like
simulating an office that well.
that's the idea is that like you're in the office but you're doing whatever you want. So I put her
Yeah.
in the
Like the metaverse.
yeah, like the metaverse. She was in the auto body simulator, and I didn't tell her a lot because I want to see her like try to figure it out. And I guess I got over this part already, and you don't realize you get over it. But it's like in my head when you're going to play these games now, you just like you see a thing, you walk over, like you put your hand out, you like press to like pick it up. Where she was like, "Well, what do I select to do the thing?" I'm like, "No, you have to go over to it." She was like, "Well, the stick does it." I'm like, "So you have to." I was like, "Walk forward." She was like, "Well, how do I move it?" I was like, "No, you got to like walk." And it's just like funny watching someone who's never done it like get their bearings, because I'm sure I did this as well the first time I did VR, but you don't get to watch yourself do it. And boy, do you look real dumb doing VR. Like doing VR, man. You look
Yeah,
like a real dummy to everyone else in the room.
we had we went to was it called VR World in the city? We went for I think Karthik's birthday one year. He wanted to go to VR World.
Mm-hmm.
And they had one game, it was like some war game where like you're two sides fighting, and there's like this little room they bring you into, which like is a bigger area so you can move around a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're still not to move around too much. And we would take turns because there was an odd amount of us, and like one person each game would sit out and watch the others play. And when you're watching everyone else play, it just looked fucking hilarious because everyone's just doing like
Yeah. Oh my
just
god.
like flailing.
Oh my. Did you do the one where you walk on like the tightrope or like the board?
Yeah,
Oh, that one fucked with me the first time I did that.
I didn't have those. I guess in my head I had already gone like, I know it's not real,
You just
and it didn't
associated
feel real
enough.
for me.
Yeah.
Um, there was a couple other ones I liked better, like the Beat Saber one was cool. There was a snowball fight one that was kind of fun.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Like you had to like bend over and like mold your snowball and then chuck it at whoever and
That
start
sounds
again. But
fun.
it was kind of fun.
Beat Saber's not out yet in PSVR. It's coming, but they have a different similar thing called Pistol Whip. Well, it's not really simple, but you do move to the beat, and it's almost like John Wick, and it's like you're on rails moving down like essentially a hallway. Everything's very polygonal, and dudes like come out and just start shooting at you. You're just fucking, but you have to shoot to the beat to like get like better scores and stuff. But it's fucking sick. You feel like you're John Wick, but you look like a fucking loser. If anyone, if like you can't see what the person's doing, and I'm just like, you know, like it looks. For the audio listeners, I was flailing around like fucking idiot. It looks so stupid. Correct me if I'm wrong here. You're not a big fan of spooky games like me, right?
No,
I can't do them. I just get creeped out easy.
Yeah, it's not so much even spookiness. It's more of the creepy crawliness that I hate most,
Right.
and they have a lot of that in those games.
It's the jump scares for me.
The jump scare, I mean, I could care less if it's not mixed in with something
Gross.
based in reality, I guess.
Okay.
Like once you get something based in reality, then I'm like out of the game, but still it's in my brain and I'm thinking about it when I'm trying to like sleep. And I hate that so much. But like even that, it's really that noise that you hear whenever you get like the flood in Halo or like the little creepy crawly spider click 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 click, click noise. Like
not a fan of Resident Evil then.
No.
A lot of blood, a lot of gross, a lot of wet sounds, a lot of
not a fan of those sounds. No. Also, yeah, those games don't really do it for me for whatever reason. I just never got into them.
So they have Resident Evil 8 in VR. I did the demo for it because I'm gonna get Resident Evil 4 in VR. I'm just not like I forget. My brain really has a hard time just like constantly reminding myself that it's not real. So like I don't play spooky games because I just get my anxiety just goes through the roof immediately. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna force myself to do this. And Therese basically just sat in the room and laughed at me for half an hour as I'm like walking through the forest. I'm like, I mean, like physically, I was just like this, like just like kind of like tightening up the whole time, just like walking through this forest, just because I know I'm just like, I'm gonna let my guard down for 1 second, and some shit's gonna fucking jump out at me. And of course, lo and behold, I'm like walking through. There's like dead crows hanging like all around me, and like as I pass one, it just like fucking like caws and like just starts moving around. Scares the shit out of me in VR. It is so fucking scary, dude. But there was one part which like really messed with me where, and this probably would make you sick maybe as well, because it definitely made me a little nauseous. I'm in like a cabin and this dude just gets like ripped at by like this like monster, like it breaks through the ceiling and rips him, pulls him up into the attic. And then it does it to me. And the thing that fucked with me is I'm in VR. So now I'm moving, but like I didn't decide to move. Like I'm being pulled. And because I'm being pulled, like I immediately just start getting like, and then like I don't know where I am. And I just like look around. I'm surrounded by like dead bodies and like just like gross shit everywhere. And I'm like supposed to be like moving within it. It was I'm gonna put myself through playing Resident Evil 4 in VR when that comes out. But I can't do that shit right now. My VR skills are not good enough because I immediately like my body was like, oh, I want to throw up. I was like, oh God. It was like the one bad VR experience I've had so far. So hopefully that kind of shit doesn't happen in the Resident Evil 4 game.
Is there like a VR roller coaster tycoon where you can then ride your roller coasters you make?
I bet there is on PC. There isn't yet on the PSVR. I mean, there's only like 50 games or something right now, or 40 games on the VR.
Because the only reason I say that is because on TikTok I came across some guy who made Roundabout World. I don't know if you saw this or not on there.
No.
So he made an entire park that you have to go around to get out. So like you go into the park and the only way you can leave is by going on all of the rides and going around this giant loop.
I see. So like the exit takes you to the next entrance, takes you to the next exit.
Yeah.
So
okay. And all of the rides are also roundabout themed. So they're all just going fucking circles forever.
Everyone's got to be the most miserable patron of all time.
And yeah, he's like all the rides are named like the word like boring ass like this and shit, like, yeah. But he's like, and I've trapped these people in, and if you don't want to leave, there's an option to go on this ride, which is 10 times worse. And then like he's showing it, and he's like, and they go and they slow motion die on it because like one of the slow moving roller coasters that's built poorly, so it just falls off. He's like, that won't happen every time.
That's so funny.
But
I want that. I was thinking about, they have like a Sim City thing, but I was thinking about like, oh, I would love to have a roller coaster tycoon game where like I could test the rides like in the VR, because I get sick on roller coasters and boats and stuff. I get very motion sick. So being able to try that. What is that on your wrist?
It's a charging cable that I just put the USB in.
Because of the like metal things, Dan, it looks like one of those like stupid bracelets. Like, this will help you with your balance.
No,
like placebo.
It's bracelets. A USB-C. It's the other USB port.
I thought some like mall kiosk worker finally got his claws into you.
Nah, I'm just fidgeting.
He's like, my friend, come here. Let me show you this. Here,
I think this came with my.
Let me try and push you over. See, you can't fall when you're wearing it.
I think this came with my my pen that I got. It's like charge it.
That's hilarious. We want to do some mail.
Yeah, let's do some mail.
All right. Email at unrankedpodcast.com. We love to hear from you guys. So send us an email if you haven't. Or send us voicemail to 805-738-8692. Phone numbers in the show notes, or you can go to our Discord. Links there. Drop a question for the pod. Because I'd love to hear from you guys. It's been 7 years. Tell me what's going on in your life. Speaking of which, we do have a voicemail. I haven't screened it.
Hopefully it's not me from weeks ago.
So let's just see what it is.
I don't think it's me.
Hey, Unranked crew. I was just calling in because I had this really good idea for like a movie, and I was just curious to your guys' thoughts on it, especially Tom, because I know he's into movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially.
But it's kind of about
Tom.
like this girl who wakes up in the forest and like doesn't really know where she is, and then she's kind of like in these like overalls, like gray overalls. But then like all of a sudden she starts to get like pulled, you know, like, and she just like keeps getting pulled and pulled, and the kind of like the twist of it is like at first she's like not sure what's going on, but she looks down and she sees these like cables that are like attached to her, and she's like unable to get rid of them, and she keeps getting pulled this direction by the cables. And it's kind of like this horror movie about like what is going on and who's pulling the cable. I don't know. It's been a kind of a passion project of mine for a while now. I just started filming it. I'm curious what you guys think about it. Maybe if it's a bad idea, you should let me know. But I'm really interested in Tom's take for sure. But other than that, stay unranked and suck it.
That's amazing. So Dan,
Did they say who it was?
no, but we have had this caller before, so
Okay.
I'm gonna do a little. Oh, have they just never said who they are? Oh no, this is Kill Care Bears. Great.
Oh, this
okay.
okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
we have had.
I was
this
like,
call
I was
before,
listening for a
Kill
name
Care
in the
Bears.
beginning and did not get one.
So Dan, woman,
Yeah.
she's in the forest. There's a cable like attached to her. She just wakes up, doesn't know how she got there, and then it just starts like pulling. What do you think about this movie? This pitch? It's kind of like a horror movie. You got to find out who's pulling the cables.
Is it a full length movie? Is it a short film? I think it might work better as a short
it's
film.
Short. It's a short.
Yeah.
Because like all these movies that come out now, like a lot of these movies, like A24 movies
And
too, like they
the funny
start as
thing
short
is,
films.
we did not listen to this call before. I had no idea it was coming. I just happened to be wearing cables around my wrist because I've been playing with them for the last 5 minutes. So if you're listening, you didn't get to see me hold it up right away. Like, hey, I got a cable
this
around
is
my
more
wrist.
like a steel cable.
Yeah, I
it's
figured
like
these are
grafted
not so
to
much
her
USB
body,
cords.
I think, too, from the way he was sounding it, because he says it's like attached to her, not like it's tied around her. It's like actually like attached to her.
Okay. Sounds weird. It needs more story than just that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he said like it's a horror movie and it's gonna be about who's pulling the cable and like what's going on. I guess he doesn't want to tell us, right? Because he doesn't want to tell us
if it's like
what the answer is, I guess, because that would be
I guess he doesn't want to give it away. I mean, why not? They do much dumber things in movies, so why not?
All right, now I got to tell you something, Dad. I've left you out of a detail here because you don't listen to the podcast when you're not on, or
no.
I mean, you should because
I sometimes start to.
Sure. And then I hear your voices and I go, I don't need this in my life.
No, really, what happens is I don't really listen to podcasts anymore. And then, like, if I do, it'll be because, like, I am somewhere where I can't access music. Like, my Spotify doesn't work.
Sure.
And, but by the time I learn to listen to the podcast, I'll just listen to like 5 minutes of it, and then I'm usually where I'm going to be.
That's fair.
Or I haven't downloaded the episode all the way, and so it just stops.
Well, recently, Tom shared his concept for a short film he's planning on making, like in the next year or so, which was this exact thing.
Oh God.
Which it's fine. It's not bad. I mean, there's going to be more to it. Tom didn't want to share all the details because that makes sense. Why would you want to give away your whole thing? I personally didn't even ask him to share any details. Alex did. I think this is a very good prank that he pulled. And it's unfortunate Tom isn't here. In fact, the next time Tom is on Kill Care Bears, I will play this just to get the reaction from him. And then I will tell him because I know Tom does not. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one. Alex, I know, has done it, that has listened to the podcast when they aren't on it.
I used to. I stopped a while ago.
Yeah. Well, you haven't been on enough, and then it's a lot to keep up.
I'm thinking of making a short film myself.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Yeah. And I'm not quite sure what the plot's going to be yet, but it's filmed from the perspective of someone who's really short. The film is actually feature length, but it's all shot upwards at everyone else. So you get to see what it would be like to be as short as this main character is going to be.
Problematic.
Why? Are there not short people?
No, but how short?
I didn't specify how short.
Oh, I was thinking like.
See, your brain went somewhere else. I just meant
I was thinking like a foot tall.
Under average height.
Oh, okay. Honestly, Dan, when you started saying that you had an idea for a movie, all right, well, you know what? I have an idea for a movie. Dan, I have an idea for a movie.
All right.
It's this guy, and he's in a cabin, and next to him is this really big wheel, and it's a massive wheel, and he's got a crank, and he's just cranking this fucking cable. And you're just reeling in. You're like, well, what is he cranking in? What has he got on the other end of that line? And you see the cable, and then like every now and then, like there might be like dirt on the line, like oh, where is this going out into the wilderness? Like, where's this cable? What is he fishing
All right,
in?
but Chris, idea for a movie. You ready?
Okay, all right.
Okay, so there's a guy, right? Or a girl. I'm not sure yet. It's someone in the woods, and all they see is this cable, and it's just being pulled. You can see it moving, but you have no idea what's tied to either end of the cable, and it's just slowly moving across, and you're just sitting there wondering, like, what's pulling this cable? Is there anything attached to this cable? Why is there a cable in the woods?
Sure.
What do you think?
I think that's good. It would actually pair well with this other movie idea. It's a new version of the live action. It's a live action Wonder Twins movie. And at the start of the movie, one of them turns into the steel cable, and the other one turns into a crank. But then they get separated. They can't undo it. They can't undo it. Their rings, their Wonder Rings fall, or whatever the fuck it was. And so now there's this guy.
This feels like a multiverse situation to me. Is this the unranked multiverse?
Alex just asked if he's gonna rejoin. I want to play the voicemail for him to see how he reacts.
All right, do it. Fuck it. Do it. Fuck
so
it.
Bad. Oh my god, it makes me. Should we just take a different question while we're waiting for him? Let's see.
Probably.
Yeah, let's do a different question, and then we're gonna just pretend like you haven't heard this before when we play it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'll try to get my brain back in that spot.
We got some questions. I feel so bad. For Slater.
Why?
Well, because he's in the he's in the Spartan chat. He posted, because I said we're not gonna have the video up, and he just posted the Eric Andre let me in. Which Eric Andre just announced a new season, which I'm so excited about.
That's awesome.
Because I could have sworn the last season was it, especially the way they ended the Eric Andre show. So I'm actually really fucking excited.
Did you get like a perm while we were away? Like,
we don't hear you again.
Can't hear you.
Perm?
No, he's got his hair up.
It's just fluffy now for some reason.
Should I just invite, because I'm not streaming it and Slater's in the chat? Should I just give him the Zoom link? Be like, you want to just come and sit and you can listen, and you just can't
only if you
join
spell
the
it
chat.
C-U-M.
All right, I'm gonna do it for this one
Wait,
time.
where are we right now?
We're doing listener mail.
Oh, listener.
We're towards the beginning of listener mail.
All right.
I'll ask him if he wants to join.
He's be like, I'm at work. What are you talking about?
If he wants to join the Zoom, I'll drop the Zoom link so he can join. We'll see. One time only, because I fucked it up. It's my bad. We'll use a different Zoom code in the future. I'll change the password. Whatever.
Oh, I gotta relearn.
No, I'll just put the password hasn't been on in forever. I turned it off at one point anyway, so actually, like, anyone could join.
Well, you have to admit him anyway, so.
That's true.
Don't you?
I do have.
So
to
what's the
do
difference?
You're right.
You can just say no,
All right.
like I do to drugs. Just
See,
kidding.
this is the perks of being a Spartan. We're gonna try and do whoever we can to make good when we can. This was my fuck up because I can't find my PC webcam.
Do I have
Alex, my webcam that I use only works on Mac.
Do I have 30 seconds to run and get a beer?
I was here when you said
go
that.
Get a beer. Oh, you were, Alex? Oh, right, because I made sure to say it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he can't actually join us. All right. Well, Dan's gonna get a beer. We got a voicemail.
Really?
We got a voicemail, so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do some listener mail, and I think fuck around. I don't know. How you doing?
How am I doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm all right. Just got off a call.
You haven't been playing anything.
That's right.
Well, we didn't. So last week, Alex, we extended Inkulinati because since Tom was going to be gone and you said you were busy, I was like, well, let's not put another game on right now then.
Sure.
So, because, let's try and keep the game club going for more than like a month or two if we can before we're completely falling off of it. I was not a fan of the game. I found
No,
it.
you were not.
I found it really complicated.
Why not? Oh, complicated. How
yeah.
complicated could it be?
It's
Like
not that
Avril
it is
Lavigne
too complicated, but there's so
Stupid.
much reading you have to do to be able to play. Like everything just has like a lot, and there's like a lot of and it's because it's an indie game, they don't onboard anything very well. So like the way they explain things to you isn't well done. There's not like a quick and easy tutorial to like walk you through the different things. So you're just kind of like put into the game with a lot of information, and it's I mean, honestly, you load it in 15 minutes, you'll understand why I didn't enjoy the game.
Okay.
You'll be like, oh, that's too bad. It looks cool. But now that they're gonna put the fucking Pentiment guy in it, I'm like, maybe I'll try it one more time because I gotta go check out my boy Andreas. All right, so we got a voicemail. We're gonna play this. This is from Kill Care Bears. You ready, Alex?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Hey, Unranked crew. I was just calling in because I had this really good idea for like a movie, and I was just curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it, especially Tom, because I know he's in the movies and stuff like that. But it's kind of about like this girl who wakes up in the forest and like doesn't really know where she is, and then she's kind of like in these like overalls, like gray overalls. But then like all of a sudden she starts to get like pulled, you know, like, and she just like keeps getting pulled, and the kind of like the twist of it is like at first she's like not sure what's going on, but she looks down and she sees these like cables that are like attached to her, and she's like unable to get rid of them, and she keeps getting pulled this direction by the cables. And it's kind of like this horror movie about like what is going on and who's pulling the cable. I don't know. It's been like kind of a passion project of mine for a while now. I just started filming it. I'm curious what you guys think about it. Maybe if it's a bad idea, you should let me know. But I'm really interested in Tom's take for sure. But other than that, stay Unranked and suck it.
So here's what I think we should do. We should have Tom listen to that, and we should have Tom record a response while he's on vacation, and then we'll add it in. Because I can't speak to it because I also thought it was a convoluted idea that I didn't really understand. So we'll allow Tom to expand on it.
It's not much of an idea though.
Oh wait, were you not here?
I haven't been
You
here.
might not have.
Was there a thing?
Well, he just basically copied this thing that Tom had said the last time that we were talking about movies or something. And Tom, like, I've been working on this movie idea for a long time, and he just basically regurgitated exactly what Tom said, making fun of Tom because Tom didn't really say much. So
of all people, Tom didn't say much.
Right. Well, Tom wanted to keep it under wraps because he's going to work on it, and he doesn't want that you know, to get out when he's working on it for real. So he doesn't want anyone stealing the idea. So what is with the glasses?
That's what you. I have them. They're here. They're sitting in front of me all the time.
You didn't know either, right? I had no idea he wore glasses.
I've had glasses for years. I don't wear them.
I did not know. And do you wear contacts or do you just say fuck it? I'm gonna live my life.
I just say fuck it, go blurry.
That's
it's only barely blurry though. It's not like
is it just
blurry.
Barely?
Yeah, like it helps me with distance reading.
But you've been like this your whole life. How did it not get worse? Because my vision got worse until the day I got contacts. Because I didn't wear my glasses.
The answer to that question, but it hasn't. So
I'm wearing my glasses, and my eyesight still gets a little worse every year.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should stop wearing them.
But my vision got a little worse every year till I switched to contacts, and then it just stopped. Like my vision has been exactly the same since the day I switched to contacts.
Mine's been equally bad, I think, since 4th grade, 6th grade, something like that.
That's wild.
Like I've gotten new pairs as they didn't fit anymore, but I haven't gotten a new pair of glasses in like 10 years, probably.
I thought I was crazy that I didn't know this. So I'm glad you also had the same exact reaction as me, Alex, when I looked up and I was like, wait, why the fuck do glasses on?
Other than that, and the reason I guess I laughed when you asked me about the glasses of all things, that was the second time I heard that voicemail. Kristen played it just before, and I was just acting like I'd never heard it before.
Yeah, we did.
And the thing that you picked out was glasses, so I could.
We did a whole thing on it, and honestly, I wanted to hear your response, Alex, because you weren't here for it. Dan and I pitched some other short film ideas. For instance, Alex, I have this idea where there's a guy, he's in a cabin, and he's he's just doing this, and you don't know what he's doing at first, and then like you zoom out, and there's this giant spool of cable, and he's just cranking in this cable, but you don't know what's on the other end. It's basically like a giant fishing line. Every now and then there'd be like dirt, maybe there'd be like a little bit of blood or something, and like leaves. So you know the cable's going out like into the woods, but like what could it be attached to? And Dan has
And I had
another
two.
idea.
I had
Dan has
two
two
short film
ideas.
ideas. The first of the short films is actually a feature-length film, but filmed from the perspective of a shorter person.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know
And
what? I gotta
then-
be honest. Wait, Chris, that idea that you had about the cable, that's Tom's idea, right?
Yeah, no, it's the guy who's pulling the cable.
Oh, okay.
And my second short film idea was this person wakes up in the middle of the woods, and they don't see much of anything, but they notice there's a cable on the ground, and it's slowly moving in one direction, and they're not quite sure if it's tied to anything or if someone's pulling it or if it just is moving that way. And that's the movie.
That's good.
I feel
like
so
it.
bad. Making fun of this thing.
Why?
Because I'm sure obviously he's leaving out key details, right? And it's
Of course he
meant
is,
to be
but
like a
you're
mystery.
but yeah, but the listeners are going to capitalize on it.
I know.
As we've
I know.
heard,
It's good.
we're going to
It's good
capitalize on
content.
it.
I know.
That's what it is.
Maybe it's like an
So-
M. Night
content,
Shyamalan
man.
movie, and it was the trees the whole time.
Also, Alex, Wonder Twins. There's a Wonder Twins movie. One of them turns into a giant spool of cable. And he gets stuck being grafted to this woman, and there's this old man who's reeling him in.
You said,
and he
but
can't-
earlier when you suggested that, you said the other one turns into the crank.
Oh, she turns into into the crank. Yeah, so she's the crank. The old man's got his hands on her, and he's all up in the woman, right? Who's getting pulled by the cable. So he's
What's
pulling
the
her off
pet
from
monkey
the
doing
inside,
during
and,
this?
and he's cranking her.
What's the pet monkey doing during all this?
Oh, you have a pet monkey?
Don't the Wonder Twins have a pet monkey?
He's using it. He's slapping the monkey with his other hand. So he's cranking her, slapping the monkey. He's all up inside the woman, pulling her
Ranking
off.
her.
It's
Oh boy.
gonna be a very wet movie. Psych Mike has a question. If you were in charge of deciding this from question with Bob, if you were in charge of deciding where to bury Jimmy Hoffa, where would you bury him?
I already answered this.
Yeah, you wrote under a mountain of debt. Okay, so other than metaphorical burying, then where? Because once you're dead, I don't think your mountain of debt.
Wait, I have to
matters.
hide him,
Yeah, where you hiding?
Where are you burying Jimmy Hoffa?
and it's to hide him so no one can find him.
Yeah. That's the question. I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty simple.
Where would I hide him? I mean, I could hide him in my house, in the basement, underneath the concrete. Like, I feel like
you're
no one
just
would
looking around the
suspect.
room.
Well, no one would suspect just a random suburban dude having Jimmy Hoffa in his
Now,
basement.
here's the question: Have I also murdered Jimmy Hoffa, or am I just finding his body and now need to hide it?
Hmm.
Am I connected to anyone that killed him, or did I just find the body and now it's like, let's hide this thing somewhere? What is the question?
It says
state?
it says you are in charge of deciding where to bury Jimmy Hoffa.
Okay, so I know the people who killed him then, probably. So I
Probably.
could be linked to them. So my house wouldn't be the best place.
Well, I asked ChatGPT where to bury Jimmy Hoffa, and it says that they can't generate content that promotes or encourages legal or unethical activities, including burying or concealing something from others, which it gave me the same response. First, I asked it where to bury Jimmy Hoffa. I should have guessed that. And then I
Oh,
asked
you know where you got to bury Jimmy Hoffa?
Yeah,
On
where
Oak Island. They never find anything of use on Oak Island. They find fucking doorknobs for 7 seasons, but they'll never find anything real.
I mean, in the middle of the ocean feels like the best answer.
But are you burying him or just like, is he sinking? Like, are you going down in like James Cameron's like little tiny submarine thing and then like getting out of it and like digging a hole in the bottom of the ocean and planting him in there? Because yeah, no one's finding him at that point.
I mean, I guess if you put it into, you'd have to put him into some kind of like casket of some kind anyway, so that he would sink. to the
Why? What, are you
bottom.
protecting the body?
No, so he sinks because the body's gonna float.
Well, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. What if you just tie him down? Like weigh him down with some kind of cable?
But then,
Like
I mean,
tie
I
it
wanna
around his
bury
wrist
him,
or something
right?
like that. And then
So Yeah, I guess you could do that.
And you got like a
Alright.
crank.
Okay, so then that's that. Here's what I would do. You ready?
Oh boy.
You get some like canvas sacks, fill them with sand.
Mm.
You weigh him down, put the canvas sacks of sand, and then you drop them so that they all go down together. The canvas part will deteriorate, and he's buried under the sand. Now that's it. Buried.
Bada
under
So
bing.
then, and then you
Bada
play Under the Sea.
I mean, that's where Dexter went wrong. Like Dexter was like, I'm just gonna
In
go
his
like kind of
laboratory?
offshore and drop these bags, and like, why are you putting them in fucking plastic? That shit's gonna be around for 1,000 years. You needed to put this like in something that would be buried under something, so that it's not popping up on like someone's just like, boy, there sure are like hundreds of garbage bags out here. Like,
Did you
come on,
watch the
Dex.
last season of Dexter?
The new one, the new blood
Yeah.
thing? I have not.
No.
I watched it.
I heard it wasn't
And-
bad.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
probably why I
Mm.
didn't watch it.
Mhm,
Because
mhm,
it
mhm.
wasn't like people said you have to watch it. Maybe I will at some point.
It
well
completes the
finish it.
story, I guess.
Yeah, I should just to complete the story. Well, there you go. I would bury him at sea. Bury him at sea.
All
Under
right.
the sea.
Under some water.
Official Tuna fan club says, I got a question for the pod. Question for the P. Q for the P. What's your most controversial gaming take? Don't mean it in a political way. Just in your opinion, what's the most unpopular opinion on a game, mechanic, story, soundtrack, etc.?
Hmm.
There's too much text in JRPGs.
Okay. All right.
It's not even that controversial. What's a controversial game?
Controversial take on a game.
I think PC people shouldn't be allowed to play video games with console people in
Whoa.
crossplay settings. Because it's an unfair advantage for the PC people.
Okay. What would be mine?
Proud of that take.
Call of
That
Duty
answered the
sucks.
question.
Call of Duty. Not only does Call of Duty suck, but all battle royales suck. Even though
You play them constantly?
I don't play them constantly. If I had a choice,
Are you counting Fall Guys in this?
no Fall Guys. No, I'm fucking not.
Okay.
Fall Guys is totally different.
Okay.
Totally different game.
Okay.
Why?
Any shooter
Okay,
that has
shooters
you
only.
any game that has you like here's the thing about Fall Guys. Yeah, it's just a different animal. Battle Royale games suck.
There's no guns in Fall Guys. That's the difference.
Warzone sucks. And yeah.
You know what mine's gonna be? Super Smash Brothers is the best fighting game, and that's a very
that
controversial
controversial?
take,
Is that
because
controversial?
a
I don't know if
lot
it's
of like
controversial.
the fighting game scene, there are a lot of people that still don't
Hmm.
consider Super Smash Brothers like a fighting game. They
That's
they
stupid.
call it
What
like
else would it be?
They think it's like
What
a
is
party
it?
game. They think it's bullshit because all of the like actual other fighting games, you have to learn
What,
like
like
combos.
fucking like Mortal Kombat?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's
Mortal
so lame.
Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, like all of those games, like those are the big fighting game scenes.
Mhm,
Like they are what are considered like fighting games.
mhm.
Also, like the Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z game.
Yeah.
But it's all like combos, and you have to like frame exactly. And it's like, I think those games are bullshit. I don't think there's anything fun about having the ability to like hit someone in the air and then combo them to death without them being able to do anything. I don't think there's anything fun about being able to create a chain of like actions that like once you perfect it, it's like, well, if you land one hit on this person, that's going to be the end of the game because you have the skill to take them out and they literally don't like have a way of having any recourse. I don't think there's anything fun in that. I also just don't think there's anything fun in memorizing like this many combinations of things. And I think the way Smash Brothers simplifies it, and it's like it's much more about also like mobility and stuff. I think Super Smash Brothers is by far and away the best fighting game, and most other fighting games are actually bullshit. I think they're bullshit. Someone's gonna be mad about that. Just like someone's gonna be mad about you hating Call of Duty. But I also feel like that's on brand for you. Wait, weren't Alex you the one the other day who asked the group to play Call of Duty?
Yeah, because I thought that mode
Yeah.
where you could like respawn was
Yeah.
good, but then
Mode.
we played it and we just didn't work. So I was like, all right, forget it.
It was fun, but we did
It was more fun than
not
the usual.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do great. Oh, wait. King Talistar is listed as Dad Talistar now.
Yeah,
Is he having a child?
maybe he did already.
Did he have a child and I didn't know about it? Or is he? No, because I believe he said they were going. I don't know if this is just like a branding change or if he is now having a child and this is how he's letting us know. Dad Talistar, chime in, let us know. Because I've been on the custom keyboard kick, would you ever consider building one or having someone else build one for you? So Talistar's just got a brand new custom keyboard. It looks very cool. He's been posting about it in the Discord. I just joined like this last year. I got one of these nice clicky keyboards, like the mechanical keyboards. They're very nice. I would love to build one. What are you guys? Are you guys, Alex? You going out and getting a clicky keyboard?
No.
No. Dan?
No,
No.
I honestly don't even know what the difference is. But I wouldn't use it enough to make it worth getting. So
The mechanical keyboards, I mean, it is partly aesthetic, of course.
is that like
because-
for like when you work on them and they have like they're set up like so technically you can type easier?
So
type
you can
things, or-
you can have like a
If
lot of
you know
custom
how?
keys and stuff. But the thing that makes mechanical keyboards so nice is that typically you press the button and it kind of just like bounces back, but it is like the mechanisms that do it on regular keyboards are like really shitty, whereas these actually like press back like
Oh,
with like a lot more force and like much faster, and they also have like a much better, just the mechanisms involved are very different on the mechanical keyboards. They're much better, so you can actually type faster because you can hit the buttons quicker because of the bounce back. Your fingers actually have to do less work, so you like hit it down, like it'll like push it back up for you. That's sort of where that comes from. They're also like
interesting.
you can have like custom buttons and macros that do things which are cool. Mine has a very simple one which has like a volume knob, which I like, which is kind of fun. There are a lot of like knobs and switches that are like specialized. You can get, you can have ones that like load apps or like do macros for you. So it's like, oh, when I do Photoshop, like I have like all these special buttons, or I just have this launches my game. This is like my soundboard. So there's like a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. But I also, this is probably a better question for Tom as well. It's, if you're doing like streaming or something, it's something
He
that I would
uses
do.
the keyboard a lot more. Yeah.
But the reason I haven't done it is a lot of the options for Mac are much more limited. Most of these things are primarily made for PCs, and I just don't really use my Windows computer that much. I mostly use my Mac, which is why I'm not streaming today, because I didn't even know where my webcam was to use on my PC. So that tells you probably not going to do it, but I have thought about it. They are very cool. I'm actually kind of jealous. Talistar's keyboard looks fucking sick. So, all right, you guys want to play a quick game?
How quick?
Less than 6 minutes.
Yeah, fine. Because I have to help feed the kid dinner, but hello?
All right, ChatGPT is making your game. So remember we
yeah.
did this one time before?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, this time we're gonna do it again. New ChatGPT, which is much better. Let's see how it goes. I just said, please make 5 riddles, each with the answer being a video game. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, this is great.
Now, hopefully, it picks
Wait,
real
but
video
this is
games.
but okay, but this brings up
All right, let's
Right.
go. Yeah.
this brings up like the whole thing of like, is creativity dead? If you could just ask this thing to make these things, like, is it going to have like the Chris Humes like?
It is not. No.
I know, but that's
not.
you know what I mean. Like that. I mean, but eventually, could it? And if it did,
It eventually could. It's probably eventually possible. Like, here's the thing with all this stuff. At the end of the day, Alex, it's only ever going to be as good as the stuff it can learn. But it's
I know, but like oof.
It's hard to get anything to be truly unique because everything is influenced by everything else, and then it doesn't have random real world influences to then be like, oh, here, like for me in my brain, everything I've learned, of course, influences stuff I make. But then I go out my day and I talk to a lot of different people and do all these different things, and then I can take those things and turn it into something that's different. The ChatGPT is never going to be able to do that, but it will be able to. I think it's a very good tool. I'm not in any kind of concern about it destroying a lot of industries. I know it's probably going to make a lot of things change how things are done, but I think ultimately it's just going to make busy work kind of go away, which is the hope. Is that like, oh, if this can help a lot of people get like 70% of their work done, or even just like, let's say you can do 30% of your work through ChatGPT, and then you can focus on details and making sure everything is a lot better instead of like doing a bunch of busy typing. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, 5 questions. Here we go. They're very easy. I can tell you that right now. If you know the answer, yell it out. You get a point if you're first.
What if you said difficult riddles?
Just say difficult riddles. Then don't say anything else.
All right.
Should I not have said difficult because now they're impossible?
I wrote somewhat difficult, and I mean, the first answers are things like a character in Skyforge, a character in The Adventures of Lolo, a character in Etrian Odyssey, a thing that's like specific in Rocket League, a thing from like it's using much more less popular games and obscure characters.
Yeah.
I said somewhat difficult, and it went out the door. There are a couple here that you probably could do, so let's try this one. Here we go. Yell out the answer if you think you know it.
7.
My name sounds like a word for. You only get one guess though. My name sounds like a word for small explosive. A game where a guy with a mustache runs and jumps is my motive.
Mario?
No. My name sounds like a word for small explosive.
Wario?
No. I mean,
we only
this
get
is
one
a
guess.
bad.
What are you just guessing wildly for the wind?
I would just look at the first part of this riddle, Dan.
Bomberman.
It's Bomberman.
Bomberman has a mustache?
Bro, I have no idea why I did that. My name sounds like a word for a type of kiss. A game where you play as a bounty hunter is my bliss.
Smooch.
That's the word that I was thinking of. But I guess it's a bounty hunter?
Yeah.
Samus?
Samus in Metroid. That's the answer.
Samus sounds like a kiss?
1-1.
Samus.
And this one's a game. I'm a game that takes place in the ancient kingdom of Hyrule, where a young hero may save the princess and defeat
Zelda?
evil sorcerer. Yes. Dan, Alex, why did you just say Zelda out loud?
I don't know.
All right, here we go. I'm a puzzle game where players use portals to navigate through
Portal.
the levels.
Portal.
Dan's got it again.
These aren't riddles.
These aren't riddles. This is barely descriptions.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. All right, final one. I'm a world-renowned plumber, jumping on mushrooms all day.
Mario.
All right, well.
Well, Alex,
Pratt.
you weren't here for most of the birthday episode. Why don't you see us out?
Yeah. Follow us, tweet at us, talk to us. Thanks for listening.
7 years. Alex, I brought up with Dan. When we started the show, we were getting the first rumors of the Switch, and now the Switch sequel is rumored to come out at the end of the year. We are gonna we've come full circle on a console generation with the show, which is great. Join the Discord, check out the Spartan program. We love you. See you guys next week. Tom will be back. Happy birthday, everyone. Stay unranked.
You know, when we first started this, I broke a mirror, and my years of bad luck are finally up.
Oh,
So they can suck it.